Alright, it's time to make my quarter-final predictions for the Women's World Cup, but first I'm going to update you on my bracket. On this, right at the start of the tournament, you get to make your early predictions for not only the group stage for the rest of the bracket, but this time around you also get a second chance from the round of 16 onwards. I didn't record me making my predictions for this round of 16 onwards, but I have done it and I'll show you the update on that as well. First up, we've got my original bracket that I made right at the start of the tournament before the game started. So as you can see from the round of 16 in the first half of the bracket, there's one game I got 0 points, but the rest of them all got 30 points. At least half of the teams I said that were going to get through didn't actually get through. The team that's going to hurt me the most in terms of points is the USA not making it through, because not only did I say that they were going to make the final in this one, I said they were actually going to win it in the second choice, and they got knocked out in the round of 16. I said Japan was going to beat New Zealand, even though they didn't end up playing New Zealand and they weren't actually placed in that bracket. Then this one, it was Switzerland versus Spain. Japan did end up actually making it through to the quarterfinals, so I did get 30 points for that still. Again, for Spain, I said Spain were going to make it through, even though they didn't make it through in this actual bracket. This was a bracket Japan actually made it through in, but I got 30 points for getting Spain right as well. Going down to the other half of the table, and you see that I did get 0 points. The bottom one was Germany and France. I did get 30 points for England and Australia's one, which was 30 points for saying England were going to make it through. And again, they were actually in the right bracket. But for some reason, Denmark and Brazil both have the lock symbol. I know neither of them made it through into the quarterfinals, and Brazil didn't even make it into the knockouts. But I don't know why it hasn't changed to say that I got 0 points from the games. Because it should have, because I'm getting 0 points because none of the teams are getting through. So I don't know why that's the case, but I have gotten 0 points for the games. Now it's the second chance. Because it's a second chance, it's starting from the round of 16, so every team is in the spot that they should be in. So in this, I did get 30 points for saying Spain are going to go through. I got 30 points for saying that Netherlands are going to go through. I got 0 points for saying Norway are going to go through. I don't really know why. I for some reason thought they were going to be the underdogs. I kind of had a feeling Japan were going to win that game. I'm pretty sure that's in the last video I said that. But I decided it was going to be an underdog story. They were going to go through and win this game, but they didn't. And US versus Sweden, yeah, I just got that completely wrong. I really thought USA were going to win that. And as you can see in the table, that is definitely going to happen. If I say that they will not only make the final, but you can actually see bottom right, I said they were actually going to win it. Onto the second half of the bracket. Again, I got 30 points for saying Australia is going to make it through to the quarterfinals. 30 points for saying France is going to make it through. 30 points for saying England are going to make it through, and I got 0 points for saying Jamaica were going to make it through when it was Colombia that actually won the game. They're through to the quarters. Overall, I got 3 wrong in the second half. Hopefully that doesn't come down to hurt me too bad in the next round for points. And now let's make my quarter-final predictions. Okay, I'll get into my predictions. First off, looking back at round of 16 and how well I managed to do. So there are 3 games I got 0 points on. We're getting the score incorrect, as well as getting the first player to score, the first team to score incorrect as well. However, there are other games where I did manage to bring the points back. Also, Japan versus Denmark, I did only get 5 points for that game. I got the points for getting the correct goals for Norway. I got 15 points for the Switzerland and Spain game. I got 10 points for the outcome and 5 points for the first team to score. I got 20 points for both the Australia and Denmark game, as well as the France and Morocco game. For the Australia and Denmark game, I got 10 points for outcome, 5 points for the correct goals for Australia, and 5 points for getting the first team to score correct as well. For the France and Morocco game, I got 10 points for the outcome, 5 points for the correct Morocco goals, and 5 points for the correct first team to score. And finally, the game where I got the most amount of points so far in the tournament from a single game. Didn't even realise it was possible to get this high, but then again, there's actually more points up for grabs now that there's a chance to end points for getting the first team to score and the first player to score. And that was for the Netherlands and South Africa game. I got 10 points for the outcome, 5 points for the correct Netherlands goal, 5 points for the South Africa goals, 5 points for the correct goal difference, 5 points for the correct score bonus, and 5 points for the first team to score being correct as well. Plus I have my 2 times boost on this game, so I put my 35 points up to 70. So the points I managed to get for that round in total was 130, which I'm happy with, which puts my overall tally onto 595, with my rank being 3,343. Onto the quarterfinals now. Down to the last 4 games. The less games there are, the less chances for me to get points, so I'm not going to be able to get that many points even if I do get most of the games right. At the start of the tournament I wasn't too sure how well Spain were going to do, and I also didn't have a clue how well the Netherlands were going to do. I do think this was going to be a much closer game than what I probably would have thought at the start of the tournament, just because I had no clue how the team played. But I do think Spain have the better chances. I think they could end up being a team to go through to the final. As of right now, the teams I think that could go through to the final are Spain, France, and England are doing surprisingly well considering the amount of players that they've either had injured or retired. I don't think they would make it this far, just especially after the first game when they only scored 1 goal against Haiti. But they've definitely turned things around. As well as France. France had a rocky start. But I definitely think they are the 3 teams I think that are going to make the final. So of course, with that being said, I do think Spain's going to win this game. But like I said, I think it's going to be a close game, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Spain. I say Spain will score the first goal, with the first player to score being Jenny Hermoso. Next up we've got Japan versus Sweden. Japan have been decent. Sweden did manage to knock out USA though. I've been going against Japan pretty much every time I feel like. But I feel like I'm going to do it again. I have a slight feeling that Sweden's actually going to win this game. But I will say it will be a close game, and I'll say it'll just be a 1-0 win for them. So first team to score will of course be Sweden. And their goal scorer, I'm going to say Stena Blackstenius. That's definitely not how you say that name, but that's who I'm going to go for. Up next we've got Australia versus France. Australia's been putting up a fight. They've actually turned around. They've done very well. A lot better than what I thought they would. That's even without Sam Kerr. Sam Kerr only played, what, 10 minutes in the last game? But I do think France will come out on top. I will say it will be a close game. I will say Australia will actually score. But I think France will end up coming out. It'll be like 2-1 and then France will score a last minute goal as well to make it 3-1. I say France will score first, with the first player to score being Engina Summer. I said it would be her the last time and it wasn't. She scored the 3rd goal. I'm a little annoyed about that, but I'm going to say it would be her again. Maybe this time I'll actually get the point for it. Or in this case 5 points. And the last game was England versus Colombia. It's going to be an England win. I don't even think I don't actually think it's going to be close at all. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win. England of course being the first team to score, with the first player to score being, it won't be Lauren James because she's got a red card. I'm going to go for Chloe Kelly. So that's all my predictions done. My update on the bracket. I'm going to put my 2 times boost on the England game. I'm just going to go for that. That's going to be my prediction. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you think it's going to win, and I'll see you next time for another video. See ya.